Hi boys and girls. Today's math is going to be in sections. I want to start with part of a book called Telling Time. Do you know what time is? Have you ever thought about what time is? It's kind of hard to explain, isn't it? So, telling time. How to tell time on digital and analog clocks. Remember that there are the two types of clocks. The clocks with the face and the hands are the analog. The ones that are with lighted up numbers are the digital clocks. Tick. When people talk about telling time, they don't mean, hey, time, I've got something to tell you. No, telling time just means saying what time it is. And by the end of this book, you'll know how to tell what time it is. But to learn how to tell time, shouldn't you know what time is? It's a big question. Here's what time is. Time is when things happen. And time is how long things take. So here are some examples on this page of when things happen. I get up at 7:30 in the morning, so the time is 7:30. I start to eat lunch at 12, so the time is 12. We're going to the movies at 1, so the time is 1. I drive my race car at 9. Time there is 9. These are examples of when things happen. And those are things that are important to everybody in their days. If you have to go to work, you have to be there by a certain time. You eat lunch at a certain time. You go to bed at a certain time. If you have a meeting or a lesson, it happens at a certain time. When it happens. The other is how long things take. It takes 2 seconds to brush a baby's tooth. So that amount of time is 2 seconds. It takes 2 minutes to brush my teeth. It takes 10 minutes to brush my dog. 1,000 minutes if I have a big dog and if I use a toothbrush. It takes 2 hours to clean up my room. How many years would it take to clean up the world? So the amount of 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 hours, 10 minutes, 1,000 minutes are how long things take. So that's what time is. When things happen and how long it takes. So if someone says, hey, do you have any time? They're wanting to do something with you. They're asking you if you have some time to do something that takes that length of time. Okay, but why do we tell time? I'm so glad you asked. We tell time so we'll know when school starts. We tell time to know when our friends are coming over. And if we couldn't tell time, we'd never see the beginning of a movie. You would never know what time it started. We tell time so we won't miss our favorite TV show. That's why we tell time. Okay, but how do we tell time? We tell time in chunks. Big chunks. Big, humongous chunks. And little chunks. Eensy, itty, bitty chunklets. Shrimps. Let's start with the shrimps. There are 3 kinds of little chunks. The shortest little chunk is a second. Bet I can eat this whole chocolate bar in 5 seconds. The middle-sized little chunk is a minute. There are 60 seconds in every minute. So, 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Cool your jets, Mikey. I'll be down in a minute. The longest little chunk is an hour. There are 60 minutes in every hour. I had so much homework, It took me a whole hour to finish it. We tell the little chunks of time on clocks and watches. A watch is just a clock you wear on your wrist. So 1 minute is 60 seconds and 1 hour is 60 minutes. So it takes 60 seconds to make a minute, and it takes 60 minutes to make 1 hour. Wow. And those are our little chunks. We tell the big chunks of time on calendars. So what's a calendar? It's that pretty picture with the numbers below it that hangs on the wall. And that stack of pages with numbers on them that sits on a desk. A calendar tells the days. Every day has a name of its own. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. A calendar tells the months. Every month has a name of its own. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. A calendar tells the years. 1492, 1860, 1900, 1950, 2001, 2022. And a calendar tells the dates. Friday, October 1st, 1999. Saturday, January 1st, 2000. Monday, February 29th, 2016. Now, if it's 29th, that means it's a leap year. We have an extra day in February. So a calendar is made of the month, right? This is the month of October. And each month has days. Each special box is 1 day. 7 days make a week. So here's 1 week, another week, another week, another week, and a half of a week. So your month is made up of days that are put together in weeks. So all of these are Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So what are the big chunks of time? Days, weeks, months, years, plus decades. A decade is 10 years. Centuries, that's 100 years is a century. And millennia, that is, it's hard to explain. The new millennium is like when it turned from 1999 to 2000. The shortest big chunk is a day. You know what a day is. Then comes a week. A week has 7 days. Then comes a month. A month has about 30 days and about 4 weeks. Then comes a year. 1 year has 365 days. And it has almost exactly 52 weeks. And it has 12 months. So 1 year has 365 days, 52 weeks, and 12 months. It's all the same. Then comes a decade. A decade is 10 years. 1990, 1991, 1992, 1993. So it's 1 year plus 1 year plus 1 year equals 10 years. I'm a decade old. That's 10 years. I'm less than 1 year old. Want to know how old I am? I'm a whole century old. He's 100. The next biggest chunk is a century. A century lasts 100 years. The biggest chunk of time is a millennium. A millennium lasts 1,000 years. 10 centuries. So 1,000 years is a millennium. So when I was a kid, it turned, or when I was a young woman actually, it turned from 1999 to 2000. And then we were starting this new millennium. Okay. Calendars show the big chunks, the days and months and all that. And clocks show the shrimps, the seconds, minutes, and hours and all that. But how do clocks show the seconds and minutes and hours and all that? Two ways, digital and analog. A digital clock has big numbers in the middle. Here's a digital clock. And this one says 12:30. An analog clock has little numbers around the edge and hands that point to the numbers. Here's an analog clock. I hadn't expected to read this whole thing, but I kind of feel like we're going to. So you want to learn how to tell time. Let's start with digital. Digital clocks have two sets of numbers. One set comes before the colon sign, and the other comes after it. So the colon is that dot, dot. You have a set of numbers here and a set of numbers here, right? Excuse me. So if you look at this clock, see the colon? So here's numbers and here's numbers. This number tells you it's 3 o'clock. On this clock, it says it's 6 o'clock. The first number tells you the hour. On this one, it says it's 10 o'clock. See the zeros? On this one, it says it's 12 o'clock. Most clocks only go up to 12 o'clock, though there are 24-hour clocks too. There's no such thing as 33 o'clock or 127 o'clock. It's either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The numbers after the colon, so on this side, mark the minutes. How many minutes are there in an hour? 60, right? 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So 3:15 is 15 minutes after 3 o'clock. Some people call that 3:15. Some call it 3:15, and they both mean the same thing. This one is 21 minutes past 6 o'clock. This one is 44 minutes past 10 o'clock. You can call it 10:44. So what does this clock say? 12:30. Some people call it 12:30 and some call it 12:30. They both mean the same thing. Now how about this one? That's 10 minutes past 1 or 1:10. They both mean the same thing. This one would be 11:45. So now that you've got your minutes and your hours, one more thing. AM and PM. When you are doing something in the morning, like eating breakfast, that's AM. But if it's afternoon, after 12 o'clock, like eating supper, that's PM. So breakfast is at 6 a.m., but supper is at 6 p.m. Now let's look at analog clocks, the ones with hands. They're not really hands, not like people's hands. They don't have fingers, they don't wear mittens. So why are they called hands? Because they point like hands, like this. Clocks have 3 kinds of hands: little hands, big hands, and second hands. Second hands tell the seconds. Big hands tell the minutes. Little hands tell the what to guess? Little hands tell the hours. So big hands tell the minutes, little hands tell the hours, and second hands tell the seconds. Now,
this is very complicated stuff. And tomorrow I'll show you a little more. Now sometimes you'll see on a clock it won't have a number, it'll have a letter, and that's because those are called Roman numerals, and those are a different way of writing numbers. We will not spend a lot of time on Roman numerals. I believe when you get to second grade you'll learn about those. Now I am going to stop here for today, and the reason is we are getting into some complicated things and I want to come back to it tomorrow, okay? So I hope that you will stick around for the rest of your math lesson below, and I will talk to you soon.